welcome to our first YouTube video. I'm Taya and this is my dog Laika, and I will be talking to you about our trip from London to New York with our dog Laika in cabin. So before we moved to US, I have done a lot of research and have found out that traveling with your pet has become quite difficult since Brexit. So therefore, okay, Laika has to go now. I have decided that we need to get her a pet passport from Europe. Therefore, I have planned a trip. We drove to Bruges and got her pet passport from a vet in Belgium. He was able to give us a passport, and he's also renewed Laika's rabies vaccination for another 3 years. And that was the whole purpose of the trip. I definitely recommend someone who can drive and can go and obtain a pet passport for their future travels. I'd definitely recommend you doing that. And another thing you should remember is before coming back to UK from Europe, your vet should give your dog a deworming tablet 24 hours before travel, which is what our vet also has done, and he's signed it in our dog's pet passport. And we stayed another night in Bruges, explored the city, and the next day we drove back to London. So one thing I forgot to mention is that before traveling to Europe to get our dog a pet passport, we had to get an animal health certificate from our pet, which cost us around £230, and I think that cost kind of depends on where you are in the country, but that's the amount that we paid. And yeah, so if you don't have a pet passport, you will have to pay that fee every time you go to Europe, which is why we didn't want to do that, and we got a pet passport. So with pet passport under our belt, it was time to research and plan a trip from London to New York with our dog. There are quite a few options. You can have your dog in the hold. I think most people do tend to use pet relocation companies that will help you with all the needed documents to prepare for that. And obviously if your dog is too big and can't travel with you inside the cabin, inside the carrier, then that's your only option unless you choose to go on the cruise ship. And then the other option is to travel with your pet in cabin out of UK with a pet and cabin friendly airline. I believe Lufthansa, KLM, Air France, Air Malta are all dog friendly in cabin if your dog is under a certain weight. So that was an option also for us. So we would get on the flight from London to either Amsterdam or Hamburg or Paris or wherever in Europe, and then get on the connecting flight from there and then make a journey to New York. And then the third option was to drive to Paris and fly from Paris to New York, which is what we ended up doing. So on the day of the travel, we left London just before midday. We were kindly driven by our parents to Paris to do the whole trip. So we drove to the Eurotunnel, where we checked in our dog, boarded the train, and we were in Calais within 35 minutes. And then we drove halfway to the airport and stayed in a little town where we had a vet appointment already pre-booked to be seen by a vet, who would then sign in our dog's pet passport saying that she is all healthy and is fit to fly the next morning. And so after the vet appointment, we were able to just chill out and went out for dinner with our dog, because France is super dog friendly.
You can stand back from stuff. You're very good at.
And so the next morning we got up and we drove to Paris airport, where we checked in. I had Laika in her bag just because I didn't want anything go wrong. So she was in the bag from the start. They didn't ask her to be out the bag. They just weighed the bag with the dog inside. The weight limit is 8 kilos, and her bag with our dog in the bag was, I believe, 7.6 kilograms. But I think without the treats it would have been way less. So then after we've checked in, we went outside the airport for our dog to play around. We went through security. She was out the bag the whole time inside the departures lounge. Some more, and then when it was time to board the plane, she was back in the bag and stayed inside the bag for the duration of the flight.
Laika, what you doing? You're ready to get into your bed? Sorry. So I've put some treats for her. Are we going?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's get you in the bag.
She did so well. She just slept the whole time. She was so cute, sort of poking her head out the bag a few times. And people just found her so adorable. And I have prepared a few treats for her that would keep her occupied or keep her busy. Had a few games, sort of like, she loves this little sniffle mat where she can just sniff and get the treats out of, so I had those on the go. A few sort of like chewy toys. Great. When we then landed in New York, they did have a pet relief area where we took her straight away. She didn't do anything, she just didn't want to use it at all. So then we went to the customs and we went through. At the customs, they didn't even look at her document. They just said, oh, she's coming from Europe, she's fine. So that was super easy, and then we were out on the American soil. And so another thing I think is worth mentioning is the type of bag that Laika was in. I got her this carrier from Amazon, which is expandable on all sides. You can just unzip it and it opens up. I actually, for the flight, I've only unzipped the side pocket, and it was just plenty for her to sort of sprawl out and stretch her paws. And yeah, I actually found this really useful. But this is a slightly bigger carrier than the airline has recommended, which I do recommend you follow what the airline suggests. Therefore, I had a backup bag just in case if they kicked up a fuss and they said that the other bag was too big. I had this one, which met the requirements of that the airline has put out. But yeah, this is a Sherpa medium bag, which I got, and it's got collapsible size, just like the other one, which I thought which is why I thought the bag that she was in, which is a slightly bigger bag, would have been fine because the size collapsed and it can definitely fit in anywhere. But just in case, I had this one and I just used it as my personal bag. I just put some of my stuff inside and was able to use as a carry-on. So Laika has decided to join me for the last portion of this video, and thank you so much guys for watching, and do let me know if you have any questions at all with regards to traveling with your dog in cabin, and I'll be so happy to answer your questions. So put them down in the comments below, or do send me a message, and we would be very happy to answer them, just because I know the pain and the struggle and the worry that you go through prior to traveling. And do let me know if you want to see any other videos of us in New York and see what we get up to, what we're doing. Let me know and we would be very happy to film those for you. And yeah, until next video.